Today we're going to dive into one of the oldest and frankly one of the most incredible stories ever told. It's from the ancient Vedas of India, and it's all about a young boy who literally travels to the house of death itself just so he can ask one single world-changing question.
So let's just start right there. Imagine for a second, if you had that one shot, one chance to ask death anything, what would it be? It's a huge question, right? And it's the very thing that kicks off this entire epic story. So to really get this, you have to picture the world it comes from. We're talking about the ancient Vedic age. This was a time when the goal in life, for the most dedicated people anyway, wasn't about getting rich or famous. It was about finding the truth, understanding the deep nature of reality. And it's right in the middle of this world that we meet our hero. Now, the story actually starts not with the son, but with his father. He's a well-respected sage named Vajrashrivas, and he decides he's going to perform this massive, very sacred ritual.
The whole point of this ritual was to give away absolutely everything he owned. You do this to purify yourself and gain spiritual brownie points, so to speak. But there was a catch. Vajrashrivas was kinda cheating. He was only giving away his junk, cows that were old, couldn't give milk, basically worthless. It looked like a sacrifice, but it wasn't sincere. And his young son, a boy named Nachiketa, was watching everything.
So Nachiketa, being pure-hearted and logical, sees his dad giving everything away and asks a really simple question. If you're giving away all your possessions, Dad, well, I'm one of your possessions. Who are you going to give me to? His father just ignores him, probably because the question hit a little too close to home.
But Nachiketa doesn't let it go. This kid's got a sharp mind, and he knows his father's heart isn't in this ritual. So he asks again and again. His father just brushes him off, getting more and more annoyed.
And then for a third time he asks. That simple, honest question just keeps cutting through all this ceremony and pretense. And for his father, this is the last straw. It's not an innocent question anymore. It feels like an attack on his pride, on his piety. It just pushes him right over the edge.
And he just snaps. In a fit of pure rage, he yells out these words that are going to change everything. Now, he might have said it in anger, but back then, a father's word was law. It was a binding promise, no matter how you said it.
So what do you do when your own father says he's giving you to death? Well, if you're Nachiketa, you take him at his word. Totally fearless, he just sets off to go find Yama, the Lord of Death.
So he gets to Death's front door, but Yama's not home, and so Nachiketa waits. For 3 full days and 3 nights, he just stands there. No food, no water. His resolve is just unbreakable. And right away, you know this is no ordinary kid. When Yama finally gets back, he finds out that a guest, and not just any guest, a holy Brahmin boy, was left on his doorstep for 3 nights. He is absolutely mortified. In his culture, that's a massive sin. So to make up for it, he offers Nachiketa 3 wishes, 1 for each night he had to wait.
Okay, so for his first wish, he asks that his father's anger fades away and that he'll be welcomed back home. Done. For the second, he asks to be taught a special fire ritual that leads to heaven. Easy. Granted. But then comes the third wish, the real reason for this whole journey. He looks at the Lord of Death and asks, what really happens to us after we die?
And this is where the story gets fascinating. Yama immediately tries to wiggle out of it. He says, oh, that secret is too complicated. Even the gods don't fully get it. Ask for anything else. He offers Nachiketa kingdoms, endless riches, a super long life, anything you could possibly want. And this right here becomes the ultimate test. Is this kid a true seeker of knowledge, or can he be bought?
Nachiketa refuses it all. He basically says, look, all that stuff is temporary. Wealth, power, they all fade away. They just wear you out. Even the longest life, he says, is just a blink of an eye compared to eternity. He chooses the path of the good, of truth, over the path of pleasure. He has passed the test with flying colors.
Yama's just blown away. This boy's determination is unreal. So he finally agrees to teach him. And what he's about to reveal isn't just the answer to what happens after you die. It's the secret to the very nature of life itself. The secret of the self.
So Yama starts to explain. He says that the core of who you are, the real you, is something called the Atman, the true self. It's not your personality, not your job, not your body. It's deeper. This self, he says, was never born, and it can never, ever die. It's timeless. It's eternal.
It's the silent witness that lives inside the heart of every single living thing. That's the big secret. The body dies, sure, but that consciousness, that true self, it's immortal.
And to make this idea a little less abstract, Yama uses this brilliant metaphor. He says, think of your body as a chariot. The horses pulling it, those are your five senses, always trying to gallop off toward whatever they want. The reins that control the horses, that's your mind. The driver holding the reins, that's your intellect, your reason. But here's the most important part. Who's the passenger, the actual owner of the whole chariot? That's the self, the Atman. If your driver, your intellect, isn't in control, those horses, your senses, are going to run wild and crash the whole thing. Only with real discipline can the master get to where they truly want to go.
So, how do you get to know this self? Yama is crystal clear. You can't just read about it in a book or think your way there. This knowledge doesn't come from pure intellect. It's revealed. It's revealed to people who genuinely seek it, who have a pure heart, a disciplined mind, and total sincerity. You know, people exactly like Nachiketa.
So, having learned the ultimate secret of the universe, straight from Death himself, Nachiketa finally has his answer. His quest is over, and now it's time to go back to the world of the living.
He returns home, but he's not the same kid who left. Because he now understands the true nature of his immortal self, he's basically been freed from the biggest things that trap us humans, the fear of death, the constant chase of desire, and the burden of sorrow. He is truly liberated.
And in the end, that's what this incredible story leaves us with. It suggests that maybe, just maybe, we spend all our time asking the wrong question. We're always focused on, what do I want? But Nachiketa's journey shows us that the far more important and far more powerful question is, who am I?
Don't miss the next content on Stable Mind YouTube channel. Support us to grow.